So, partway through making my own panels for the underside of the landing, stopped for some lunch. Had to set my tools over here because they were cooking in this sun. My old phone, which I'm using to film, keeps switching off because it gets too hot. This heat's unbelievable. So I've just got 5, 6 grooves left to go. Then I'll cut it to width to try and fit it up there and paint it and etc, etc. Oh, I've just had my lunch. I'll need to strip this all the way down, but my little track is not long enough. I set the track up so I was going to do the cut, just at the sun's right, and then just put a pencil mark where the edge of the saw needs to be. And that way I can sit this here. It's a long fence. So there's my flashing with clear caulking as well. That should only take half an hour to an hour to dry, so hopefully, but there's no sign of rain at the moment. I've also put this down so that I can still lift the front and slide the asphalt tiles under it when we get them. I've emailed off for a quote for what it would cost for stuff like this, and I'm pretty secure in the strength of this because I've just been up on it, moving around. Cut my little notch out, I've tested it out. That's to go around the air conditioning pipes. It fits quite comfortably. So this is the underside. I've just done a coat of undercoat on it to basically seal board, and I've gone on the edges. There was a few patches that I had to do where the router moved, or there was a bit that broke out when I was sanding. So I've got to wait for that stuff to dry before I can sand it and paint it. Well, that's the board. There's the cover. Should pack that stand away. What are you doing, Jiminy? One there. And one there. First coat of primer done on the V-groove side. The way it's feeling, that will not take very long to dry, so I'll be able to give it a quick sand after that, because it'll raise up the grain. I can even see some parts that are a bit fuzzy. And then go on with the exterior gloss coat that I've got. Actually, I might use the exterior matte. What did I use that for? I think it's the exterior matte that's been used upstairs. Another windy night. Didn't think it was that windy. That was all pegged down too. Sam exploring the front yard. Mickey light's coming out here better than the backyard now. Got the cabana back up. Took a bit of time, but I got it. So that's up. I just need trim for the outside on both sides. Hope you can see the grooves, the V-groove, running in the same direction as the deck, which is what we do with the other ones. This little front section on as well, around the beams. I've got to do a lot of trim, like what I did on the other one, like a little quarter heart round trim all the way around it. Front board across there. I don't think we're going to have a gutter, we'll just have it run straight off. I've just run the weed whacker around the front yard. I got up there, and all the stuff that was growing up under there. Didn't get across there because I had to move the stuff from out there. And I've had to stop because the weed whacker just died. It needs a service. Great machine, but it runs, dies, runs, dies, runs, dies. Dies on rev. And I don't feel like pulling it apart. I'll ring still Penrith tomorrow and find out how much it costs for a service. See that mist? That's good. I'm just testing out my sprinkler system. Talk about timing. I test out my sprinkler system and it starts to actually rain. You know what? I don't think there was rain. It was just my sprinkler system. That does a really good coverage because there's obviously slight breeze this way. See the water just dripping off this because I did give it a fair bit of pressure and it just sprays out like crazy, which means it covers the whole house in conditions of where we might be under threat of fire. I put that up last year. Just thought to test it out. So it wasn't rain. Rain was forecast for a light rain. That's why I just thought in those dark clouds that's what it might have been. But turns out my sprinkler system feels like rain around the house because I wouldn't think that I'd get the stairs all wet. I thought it'd just spray out to the front and back. Pretty happy with that. All it is because our house is so square, across the front guttering, right along there, I've got a soaker hose attached to the roof. One right along the back edge of the house. There's a connector up on the roof to connect the two to hoses. Run a hose to the one at the back. And I just have that single hose running up, comes down into a little double connector here. I just wanted to test it out because it's been so hot and there were several fires that started up yesterday during that storm because there were so many lightning strikes. The Bushfire Brigade actually said that they were called to quite a few fires and showed some burning trees that were lightning strike trees. So they were being vigilant and keeping an eye on it. It's 10 to 5. I really should get myself packed up so I can get my things ready for tomorrow. Back to work. This isn't really a shop tour, but I just wanted to show you the last day of the holidays how the space is kind of set out now. This little walkway is supposed to go through to the lockers for storage. Up to there. If I keep this here as it is, I can get into here and get to I can get to the beach, I can get to the backyard, that sort of stuff. This here on wheels, going this way instead of this way, and that's because of the lathe, which goes down the centre. Tailstock touches up against the headstock. And from the metal lathe, the epoxy metal lathe, the saw table is spun around because it gets up against the cupboard there easier, and you get to the drawers and you slide the lathe out of the way. compressor, welder, power washer, they're just down there in the back because they're not things that get used a lot, and the compressor actually used from that position. Spin you around this way. My saw, you might be able to see tucked in the back there. I've got that pushed in more against the garden tool so it stands there. I can actually get to the cupboard where the sanders and the nail guns, or some of the nail guns, are stored. And I've got 2 feet of distance between the lathe and the door. I dragged an old fan out of the other shed, took all the legs off it, hung it here so I can actually have, it's been hot and this thing just becomes an oven. My finishing wax sits over there and I open up, it's just melted. I've still got my stool. I'll sit that there. Got a bit of distance here to come in and clean that off a bit. As an end of holiday thing, I've actually got a fair bit more than, like my saw is stored under the lathe. It's in there nicely. Still, I want to put shelves in there. Anyway, yeah, school goes back. 2 days without the kids. Kids then come in on Friday. Today's Tuesday, Australia Day. We'll see what happens over the next few days. We'll start up a new vlog because I think I'll end this one for that. Got a lot done in the holidays, but not as much as I thought I would. I've got a lot of little things done around the fences. Got a bit of the fence done. Got this landing done. Almost done. Got a lathe. Just trying to make time to play with it, that's the thing. Right at the moment, I feel bad playing with it and I know I've got other stuff to do. Anyway, have a good one.